Forget what you think you know. We're not here to speculate. We're here to discuss the fundamental laws of physics that govern this entire universe. This is your intelligence briefing. So, let's begin.
You need to understand this principle before anything else. The whole world of government contracting, it's a carnival of noise, of rumor, of fleeting sentiment. Yeah, it's buoyant, but with the hollow lightness of a balloon. Our protocol? Well, it's different. It's gravity.
You see, the naive bidder, they try to navigate this void by listening to every echo, by chasing every single shadow. They actually believe that by absorbing all of that noise, they can somehow find the signal. This isn't just an error in judgment, it's a total failure of philosophy. The void, by its very nature, has no structure. It's formless.
We don't listen to the noise. Instead, we apply a fundamental force, digital gravity. It just ignores the light, gaseous whispers of what if and we think. Instead, it exerts a pull on the things that have real mass, the immutable clauses, the non-negotiable standards, the unforgiving syntax of the system. These are the heavy truths, and honestly, they're all that matter. Okay, let's start with the first principle of risk, what we call the poisoned chalice. These are the most seductive traps out there. They look like incredible opportunities, but in reality, they're just hollow vessels. We call them ghosts.
Look at this. It's a tale of two completely different perceptions. The unsophisticated eye reads a solicitation and sees a simple requirement, passive RFID. Right away, they start pricing hardware, building a solution for a problem that doesn't actually exist. But the architect sees the citation, the reference to the defarce, and they recognize it not as a requirement, but as an artifact, a fossil.
And this right here perfectly illustrates the consequence. That clause was officially removed, deprecated. It is literally a ghost in the machine. So, to dedicate resources, to inflate a bid, to engineer a solution for a requirement that the system itself has forgotten, it's an act of profound foolishness. You're basically building a monument in a graveyard.
So we leave the world of phantoms, and now we enter the world of physical law. In this world, some rules are just not open to interpretation. They are not guidelines. They are the cold, hard mechanics of control.
Consider something as simple as a wood pallet. The pallet your product sits on is subject to an international standard ISPM 15. This is not a suggestion, and the logic here is causal and completely unforgiving. A single failure to comply, one untreated piece of wood, doesn't trigger a negotiation. No, it triggers an immutable sequence of events. The shipment is stopped. The depot either rejects or destroys it. Your delivery fails. Your payment is frozen. The system doesn't ask you why. It simply executes its protocol.
You have to understand this. These aren't just regulations on a piece of paper. They are the load-bearing walls and the locked doors of the entire logistics infrastructure. They are physical, they are binary, and they are absolute. You either comply or you fail. There is no third state, period.
And now we get to what might be the most insulting form of failure, the triviality. These are the errors that are so small, so seemingly insignificant, that they are almost always overlooked. And yet, they carry the weight of total collapse.
Here's the anatomy of a disaster born from a simple clerical error. A contract mandates invoicing through the wide area workflow system, a really common digital requirement. But the contracting officer has omitted the parent clause, that single line of code that authorizes your access. The consequence isn't a delay, it is a total system lockout. The digital gate that your payment has to pass through, it just hasn't been built for you.
This might be the most brutal lesson the system will ever teach you. You can have the perfect product, the best service, the most diligent team. But if your syntax is incorrect, if a single mandatory citation is missing, your intent is completely irrelevant. The machine only reads the code, and your good intentions, they just can't be parsed.
And so, we'll conclude this briefing with a final seal upon today's lesson.
Let this sink in. The chaos of the market, it forces you to look down at your feet, reacting only to what's happening right now. But strategy, true gravitational strategy, is about seeing the path ahead. It's about understanding the physics of the system before you even take the first step. Because in this universe, foresight isn't an advantage, it is the absolute prerequisite for survival. The briefing is concluded.